This information you are about to hear and perhaps view, these are not necessarily the thoughts or the ideas of Gary C.Clement or the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast. We are in no way, shape, or form affiliated with the parties this story is about or was interviewed for. Parts of this content may not be owned by or the property of the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast, G2 Network Media, or any other company we are affiliated with, and this information is strictly the opinion of those being interviewed. This content is for information purposes only, and although we may make reference to various news stories, we share our own independent beliefs about the content and provide our own opinions. Please enjoy the information. This is Gary Clement, and this is the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast. And today we have a special lady on our show with us. For years, she's been a hardworking artist manager and businesswoman, author, and she does so many different things, including being a pastor of a church as well. Today, our guest on the show is the Christian entertainment superwoman herself, the one and only Apostle Veryl Howard. You were a pastor in a church for years, and now you're back in the television industry. Tell us how that changed your life.
Well, actually, I would call it finally at home. I started out in television and film. Years ago, I wanted to act. I wanted to do casting and produce. And somehow I got diverted because God diverted me into the music industry. And the Lord had me give up my film career and told me he would bring me back in it at the appointed time. And little did I know, God was teaching me how to understand all the dynamics of a film, from the music perspective to the visuals, because we do videos with artists, and just learning how to negotiate, contract writing. And so the music has really been a great prep for me to go back at the time in which God released me to go back when I thought I was too old to go back. Because I didn't go back just as casting. I went back as a model. I went back as an actress, and so I thought that over 50, I'm too old for all of this. But you're never too old for God. If you don't believe me, read the story of Abraham. So, Gary, this is how I got back in the movie business that I started out with years ago.
Okay. Now, COVID-19, it stopped everything. Talk a little bit about the challenges of what COVID-19 did to you as an independent.
Well, as an independent contractor or business owner and managing national recording artist, it caused my business to go to a halt because nobody was booking artists. Churches were shut down. Concert promoters were scared to take a chance. And so therefore I was, struggling. But streaming was very popular. Streaming did not stop. Television did not stop. So what happened was some wonderful film producers called me up. Dim Gibson's Films, which is Crystal and Howard Gibson. We have the #1 show called Double Cross for the 4th year in a row on All Black TV Network, WeTV, Amazon Prime, and also another film company, Octet Film, with Bree and Chuck. Those companies called me up and they said, listen, we got some work for you. And with Dim Gibson's, I did casting, and as well as I'm in the TV series. And then with Octet, Bree, who wrote one of the movies that just came out, The Wesley Christmas Story, with me, Dorian Wilson, Jasmine Guy, T.C. Carson, an all-star cast, she called me and told me she had a role for me. And so that just pretty much just started this thing. So from Double Cross, who hit me up first to bring me back into the fold, and then after Double Cross, then Bree and Chuck calling me for my role, it just opened up the doors all over again. Then after that, I started working with Michael Cleos. I casted a movie with him, and he wants to put me in the movie. It just, began to be a plethora. I just finished casting a show on Fox Soul with Michael John White and film producer Jennifer Pasima, who is doing something right now with Howard Gibson with a film. And so, just the doors have been opening up, and I've been casting and acting ever since.
Cool. Okay. Now, before all of this happened, one thing that you was actually dealing with was very heartbreaking for you. Your mom passed away. Just talk a little bit about what that situation did to you, how it changed your life, I guess.
Well, I went into a deep depression, though nobody knew it. I mean, I was with my mother every day. I was her caregiver, and I thought I took great care of her. But, you can't be perfect in situations like that. So I kind of beat myself down for a while, like, what else could I have done? Why does she have to leave me? I miss her because I lived with her every day for 8 years. And it was just me and my sidekick, me and my mom everywhere until she got really, really, really sick. So I had to pick myself up again. It took a lot of prayer, it took a lot of fasting. I moved out of the house, went into a room with my aunt, who was my mom's closest sister, and I was living in a room, working out of a room. And so it's a challenge. I have the Bible says the joy of the Lord is my strength. And the joy of the Lord has really been my strength to keep me going. Because, I mean, she was my ride or die. And so I had to pick the pieces back up. And a lot of stuff I started doing by her bedside, but I didn't want to leave her. So I delayed my life. I delayed things. I just did not want to leave her. I was sacrificing everything I had to sacrifice for her to be here. And so when she passed, God just really started blessing me, for being a blessing to her and so on. And her, God just started opening all types of doors and everything for me. And I know that's only because I took care of her. And a lot of these things that are happening with me in film and television is a result of me being so obedient with taking care of my mom and sewing into my mom. And I'm going to tell you what, if she was alive and I had a chance to do it all over again, I would do it all over again, but I would do it with more tenacity, more excitement, more energy, and even more love, knowing that her end was coming, very soon.
Right.
So it just catapulted me. My mother was a warrior. I'm a warrior. And so it just made me a fighter, because she fought till she died.
Right.
So.
I understand. Okay. And actually, since then, too, I've noticed that you won quite a few awards or whatnot. What means the most to you at this point?
What means the most to me is still trying to live up to the mantle that was passed on me by my mother. The awards are just bonuses for being obedient and seeking God, and people finally, Gary, finally recognizing all my hard work in this industry over 20-some years, almost going on 30 years. I mean, I'm over 50. I started in my 20s.
I know.
So people are finally beginning to see me. It shouldn't take that long for others to recognize greatness in other people, but that's the truth. Mm-hmm. So these awards that are coming are people who have recognized my hard work all these years and who haven't been jealous. People jealous, competitive, people who don't want to see you succeed. And it's unfortunate. It's in the gospel industry. And so finally, people are beginning to say, you know what, Apostle's been out here for a minute grinding. We see her work. I mean, I got 2 artists right now, Dietrich Haddon. He's #1 on the billboards. And the week before that, my other artist, Jokia Williams, was #1. Now, that comes from hard work, believing God, trusting, and not giving up. And our teams working together. So people can't help but to see what God is doing in my life.
Right.
So they see the evidence of it. You know what I'm saying? So and they might as well just jump on a bandwagon and give me an award.
Right, I hear you. Okay. Because I was going to ask you too about your relationship with Dietrich Haddon, like it's going on for a long time. What holds you all together as friends and as business partners.
Well, I think what it is we're more like family. When I first started out, we had our moments. We had our moments where we were mad at each other. We didn't talk to each other. He went his way, I went my way. We were done with each other. But at the end of the day, we have grown together in this industry. And we understand that it doesn't take all of that. You know what I'm saying? And we know the ups and downs. We know, people being supportive of you, some won't. We know that you have to grind, and we work together. And if we have disagreements, we talk about it. Dietrich and I pray together. We talk the Bible to each other. We fast together. And it's not just him. It's my other artists too, Jokia Williams, Titus Showers, my group from Bermuda, Last Call. Any other groups I work for, God has given me that type of family-oriented relationship. Like my recent artist I picked up this past year, Ashford Saunders, from Sunday Best, who sings Millions, didn't make it. Ashford lives on dialysis. So we talk about God. Yes, 12 years on dialysis.
Wow.
He is believing God for a kidney. And the way I met him, I didn't even know who he was. He has a soul food restaurant in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta. And one of the radio announcers I know, she said, "Oh, that's Ashford. He's so-and-so and so-and-so." She knew who he was. I did not. All I knew was he was a man selling me some soul food and that God told me pray for him. And so I prayed for him, not knowing what was going on, not knowing he was on dialysis, not knowing his challenges. And I prayed for his kidneys and everything else. And so our relationship started out not because of money, not because of who he is, not because he had just gone viral. Our relationship started on the foundation of prayer. And so this is how my relationships are with my artists. And this is why we have been successful.
Right. Okay. Because I was going to ask you, too, to just give me your full roster. Tell me the other people and stuff that are also, artists that are not on your roster right now.
Well, I'd like to talk about my roster of the film producers, too, as I work with. As I said, I work with Dem Gibson's films, Crystal and Howard Gibson. I work with Octet Films, that's Bree and Chuck West. I work with Michael Cleos and his film company. I've been approached by some other film companies. I'm working with Jennifer Pasima, who is a film producer. These are my clients now. And then, of course, I have my artists. As I said, I work with Titus Showers, Dietrich Haddon. Titus was #1 a year and a half ago. He has a new single out. We're pushing to #1. Jokia Williams. These are people I manage. I work with from a managed capacity. Last Call. And then I work with other artists with their management company doing their bookings. I'm very close with Jacqueline Carr's dad, Alan Carr. I do bookings for her, as well as Kalante Gavin. I also work with Pastor Wes Morgan. Been working with him for years. Do bookings. I managed Todd Delaney for years. So he's going to be my baby forever, my son forever. So I work with him off and on periodically. So those are just some of my clients that I have right now.
For those of you who do not know, the All Black Network is a streaming service dedicated to Black programming and was launched back in 2014 with Bob Johnson, who's formerly of BET Television. Today, they have a variety of shows, including the show that Apostle Veryl is on, Double Cross. Tell us a little bit about your role and how this role challenges who you are.
Double Cross, which was created by Crystal Gibson, who is from the Washington, D.C. area. It is about child trafficking, and it's very prevalent in this area. So being that it's very prevalent, the Lord placed on Crystal's heart to write about it. So it's about about twins, brothers and sisters, Eric and Erica Cross. She's a doctor and he's a business owner. And they go in an unorthodox way after the child trafficking people. Now, my role in it is in a threefold. I serve as periodically when needed in casting, also when needed in press, and as well as I play a role as Diane. Diane is opposite Timac. I don't know if you saw the movie The Last Dragon. Timac, his last name is hard to pronounce. Gutturello. He was Bruce Leroy Green in The Last Dragon.
I see.
So my role is opposite him, where I work with him. I'm not a good person. I am a very bougie, classy woman who auctions off the children and who helps run the whole operation with my man, who happens to be Timac. He's called K. Cross in the series. So it's interesting to see me play that role because I am an apostle, but the role the reason why I wanted to play the role is because of the message that we're after, which is to expose sex trafficking, all this child pornography and stuff that's going on in our land. And I wanted to have a role for platforms like this, just to talk to you and to say that, how bad it is, and it needs to be addressed.
Right.
It needs to be addressed.
Absolutely. Right. Okay. So when it comes to this new technology that we have and stuff now, I remember you used to always talk about streaming. And I was like, what in the world is that? And that was, like I said, what, I don't know, 5-10 years ago now. And now we are really in the middle of, in the middle of an industry that's based pretty primarily on streaming.
Yes. And it's going to become even bigger, because there's so much money that networks can make globally with this streaming platform. And it expands your, somebody in Africa can be on the phone watching your TV show.
Right.
I found out that we have people in the Caribbean who could watch. We have people in Canada who could watch, and our international distribution just picked up. Now, with this other movie I'm in, or BET, of course, that's all over the globe.
Right, absolutely.
So you can watch that in Africa, you can watch that in the UK, you can watch, it's all over the globe. Wherever BET is, that show is. So I had people reaching out to me. That was the Wesley Christmas story. People, a director saw me in California, film director, David Talbert. He said, "Oh my God, that's Veryl." I used to be his publicist.
Wow.
He's all the way, yes, he was at the premiere, and he tells the production EPs, Bree and Chuck, "Oh my God, that's Veryl. I got to text her. Oh my God, that's Veryl." Right. And so can you imagine how I felt with some film director all the way in Los Angeles, California, is excited to see me on a screen?
Right.
That's big.
Right.
That's big. And so you can pick up these shows at any time, go back and backlog and watch them on your phone. And that is the beauty of streaming.
Right. Absolutely. And I see another thing too. It pays to treat people right over the years.
Yeah, it does, because these are relationships I had a long time ago. I managed Crystal and Howard over 20 years ago. Wow. And for them to call me back up, and they knew I was in the music business. So while I was in the music business, they were expanding their Rolodex and their resume in the film and television. But what I like about it, they did not forget me. Right. They did not forget me. They called me at the appointed time and said, "Listen, we have something for you. Are you available?" And nobody but God could put me on their hearts to even call me.
Right, absolutely. Okay. So just going forward, what's going to be the ultimate thing that you want to accomplish, now that you have this new career? What do you want to do that you have yet to do?
What do I want to accomplish? I would love to do more movies. I actually have scripts myself. I know I'm going to get done, because there's a documentary I want to shoot now on somebody and get it picked up. I'm not ready, but I want to do it. It's in my belly. So I would like to do movies, documentaries myself, and more acting, because ever since I was a child, my mother said I was always extremely animated. And she said I always was full of personality. And she didn't call me ADHD, but she almost did. And so she always said, I had something in me that was special. So I want to do that, but I also want to make sure that my purpose in doing it is for the kingdom of God and to win souls over. So whatever acting I do, whatever movies I write, whatever I serve as a producer on, I want to make sure at the end of the day, I'm doing it with a message to expand the kingdom of God. Because when I leave this earth, I want to say, God, I pray you please with me. And I want God to say, well done, my faithful servant.
Okay. So as far as, preaching, being part of a church, will you continue to do that, or are you trying to slide back away from that a little bit, or what exactly?
Well, I am more an apostle now. I'm not the pastor anymore. The Lord called me out of pastoring years ago. I just couldn't find anybody to take my place. So it's interesting. God blessed me with a young lady who I taught in junior high school. And so, yeah, the Lord blessed me. So she is who I put in place, and she's been doing a phenomenal job, even though she's been on a, training type of ground. She has done phenomenally. And I thank God for her. Her name is Kiana Brown. So she's Pastor Kiana Brown, and she stepped up to the plate.
Okay, wonderful.
And so I'm just grateful to God that I had somebody who I could pass the mantle to, because I am not called to the four walls. Gary, you know me. I've been in entertainment a long time. I'm called to the marketplace. I'm called to the masses. I'm called to the globe. I'm not called to just four walls in a church building. I never have been.
Right.
But I had to go through that phase of pastoring so I could understand how to handle and deal with people.
Right. I understand. I got you. Okay. So any advice to young people who also wish to be actors in entertainment, what's your advice to them?
Well, I would say there's a couple of things. Preparation. If this is something you want to do, you need to prepare. Have your pictures done. Videotape yourself doing different characters. Whatever your niche is, know how you want to be portrayed. So if you feel like you want to be in drama, you feel like you want to be in religious movies, you feel like you want to be in action, then you curtail your presentation for wherever you are going. Then also take some classes, learn the craft, get acting classes, get singing classes, get a vocal trainer. Then also watch your body, eat right, because I'm constantly monitoring my weight, because when you go on TV, it does make you 15 pounds heavier. So monitor, eat right, keep yourself in great shape, because it's very, very competitive at all ages. Also, make sure you get with a good representative, somebody who believes in you, somebody who will push you, somebody who sees your talent, and make sure you're called. People say they want to act, they want to sing, they want to do this, they want to do that. But are they really called to do it on a professional level or on the massive level? Are they really? And that's something they have to take into consideration, because every singer is not called to have a record. Mm-hmm. Every dancer is not called to be on Broadway. Every actress is not called to be on TV. Maybe they're church plays. So you got to know, understand your boundaries and where you're called to go to, and then you work towards that and keep God first, because it's not an easy industry.
Wonderful. Okay. So the All Black Network series, and it's going to be Double Cross. And when does the next episode air, I guess?
Thursday. Every Thursday it airs, and it comes on, like, you can pick it up in the morning if you have All Black. You have to download All Black, because even though we are in partnership with we don't know when it's going to air on We don't know. We has a tendency to do our commercials. We don't know the time, but we do know you can get it on All Black. You can get it on Amazon Prime, and you just download it, and you can go and do the backlog and catch our season 1, 2, and 3. Right now, we are soaring in numbers. Soaring. I mean, millions and millions and millions of people are watching us every week. This will be our 4th episode. They only have 3 more to watch. We have 6 episodes.
Oh, okay. And this is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd season for this, or what exactly?
4th season.
4th season.
4th season, and I'm in the 4th, 5th, and 6th episode.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, great. I know here in my area, it's Spectrum on Demand. And, yeah, And so
okay.
I guess basically what they can do is, like you said, again, just download the app and stuff. Or if you already have Spectrum, just go in, and I guess it's like $4 a month or whatnot, to actually have it added to your service.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
So there you have it, folks. This has been an interview with Apostle Veryl Howard. And let's tune in this Thursday, March 9th for a new episode of Double Cross on the All Black Television Network, a streaming service that can be accessed with Amazon Prime, Spectrum Cable, and other carriers. Please check your cable systems and other online services for more information. For more information on faith management and talent casting, as well Apostle Veryl Howard, please email her at veryl920@aol.com, or you can call her at 910-644-1824, or simply contact Elder Tara Hughes. That's 919-924-2313. We really do appreciate our guests who participated in this episode, and we hope you learned something that will bless your day and your life. For all who are interested in learning more about the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast, please visit www.amazon.com and order my book, The Gary Clement Radio Show, When Strong Afro-American Men and Women Stand Up. It covers everything about us and features a variety of Afro-American personalities who speak out about the importance of education and literacy in the Black community. Well, we thank you for tuning into our podcast. Please send us your email address so we can contact you when we have new releases and new episodes and new projects as well. You can reach us at gccpresents@yahoo.com. And also, if you're interested in submitting any materials or want to get in touch with us, please do so by simply sending an email to gccpresents@yahoo.com. That's G as in Gary, C as in Charlie, presents@yahoo.com. So until next time, do take care. And this is a G2 Network Media production.